Welcome back, my family, to Friday Frenzy. Today, we're talking about something that doesn't get enough attention: men's mental health. Since sports are such a huge part of many men's lives, we're also going to explore how sports can impact mental wellness. How you doing today, Coach O Speaks?
Hey, what's up, everyone? I'm doing well. Good morning on this beautiful Friday, Fun Day Friday.
All right, well, we're going to get all into it because he's on his way to work. So, when you hear the phrase men's mental health, what's the first thing that comes to mind?
Well, honestly speaking, I didn't know what none of that really meant or understood, because that wasn't taught to me, nor was it shown to me growing up. But now that I'm understanding and learning that I have some unhealed spaces from past experiences, I understand what mental health is, and it means just having the space and ability to have a clear mind and focus on the good that's in your life.
Do you think men are encouraged to talk about stress, anxiety, or depression?
Hell to the no, excuse my language. No, they're not inspired to talk. We are showed and taught not to speak, to keep it inside. If you show that side of you, you're labeled as you're soft, you're weak. And growing up, if you cried, you don't cry, men don't cry, things like that.
Okay, and when you were growing up, what messages did you hear about showing emotions?
I didn't hear none at all. In my household growing up, I lost my father when I was real young at the age of 1. And so I was raised by a single mother with two other siblings, an older brother, younger sister. And we moved from upstate New York to South Florida. And in that process, my mom ended up finding a gentleman and she married him. I think I probably was about in between the ages of 6 and 8, somewhere around there. I don't recall exactly. And he was an older gentleman and he was my stepdad. And even with him, being an older gentleman, it was not taught. He was from that boomers era. So talking, expressing, showing emotions, that was not uh, given to me, that was not taught to me. And we did not have those. Even sitting at the dinner table, we didn't discuss our feelings or how our day was.
Do you think men are expected to just push through things?
100%. We are basically shown in the world that we are molded to be just the tiller of the earth, and that's all we're supposed to do is just be the provider, push through everything and anything, and just be headstrong and just focus on one thing at a time.
So, do you think that expectation helps men, hurts men, or both?
Well, in my case, I feel that expectation is really a destruction piece, because you're expected to do so much, and then you put so much pressure on yourself that if you don't succeed those expectations, you're considered a failure. So I basically feel that there's a lot of gentlemen out there, young and older, that probably feel the same way that I do. That you put so much pressure on yourself for expectations that when they don't come through, you label yourself as a failure and the negativity just grows even stronger.
Well, many men are taught to be providers, protectors, and problem solvers. Those strengths can become burdens when many men feel that they have to carry everything on their own. Now, we're going to connect this thing to sports. So, what role have sports played in your life beyond competition?
Oh man. Well, it taught me a lot of things on focusing on what unity, brotherhood, as well as statistical understanding. It allowed me to actually use my emotions to scream at the TV, the highs and lows. It was basically my family away from family. So I was able to be myself and not be judged, not be questioned, not looked down upon, things like that. So I feel like it was a major role in my upbringing.
So you did kind of roll my next two questions into one. So it did
Sorry.
help you. It did help you deal with stress. Also created a sense of brotherhood and community for yourself. So can sports sometimes be therapy without calling it therapy?
100%. I think it's a real very therapeutic environment, especially if you're able to go to these games, because we're all in the same, even though we come from different backgrounds, different generations, whether you're a male or female, when you go to these live events and you're all on the same, as my wife likes to say, the energy, it is just something unbelievable when you're screaming and yelling, when your team does a great play or when your team does a bad play or when the refs make a bad call, all the boos and hollerings, it's just the emotional release of the stress, and the problem of life is just amazing.
Well, many men may never sit in a counseling office, but will open up during bowling, golf, fishing, basketball, football, or working out together. Have you ever had a conversation with another man during sports that probably wouldn't have happened sitting face to face at a table?
Oh, 100%. A lot of times so I'm Coach O Speaks, because I have coached high school football. I coached Little League, and I coached 1 year professional indoor arena football. And when we have our coaches meeting, whether we're together or on Zoom, a lot of times those meetings can transpire into us having an open forum. So yes, I've had more uh emotional vulnerability moments as a coach with coaching staff. And not only that, barbershops. That was my home away from home as well. When I went to go get my haircuts, I would be away from the house for hours because that was my place. That was my place to be around other like-minded boys, and we would just talk about everything and anything. And we talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly.
So, do men feel pressure to perform in life the same way athletes feel pressure to perform in sports?
100%. There is so much pressure on us, uh, from birth to raising our own kids. And when we aren't shown and guided, and we don't have somebody there to really point us the way. Oh man, we don't have coaches. A lot of us don't have a coach. A lot of us don't have a mentor. A majority of us were raised by a single mother or a single father as well. That just gets overwhelmed. But a lot of us were raised by single mothers, and mothers do an amazing job, but sometimes they can't give us and provide us with the understanding of what being a man is. So we learn through you know some unfortunate other ways. We get involved with gangs, we get involved with our own brotherhood, our football team, whatever it may be. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad, but we try to find a connection somewhere.
Absolutely. What happens mentally when someone feels like they're failing?
When I feel like I'm failing, I feel like my whole being, I feel embarrassed and I feel ashamed because I feel like my whole existence isn't worthy of anything. So I really just I rather sometimes be under a rock or in a cave somewhere because I don't want to have people see me or know that I failed.
Wow. So, how important is it for men to have support systems during difficult seasons?
Listen, I would have told you before all of this, before the last 2 years, I would have told you all of this, that support system. Please, I don't need a support system. I am my own support system. Wrong. We all need a support system. We all need a village. And I still struggle with that. I still have problems opening up and speaking, especially with people close to me, my brother, my best friend, my wife's cousin. When we try to all talk, I still stay inside, because I'm afraid to be judged and I'm afraid to be looked upon and things like that. And not knowing that if we open up to each other and speak about our experiences, you will not be surprised how many of us are going through the same story.
So, what's one thing that you do when life feels overwhelming that helps you reset?
Um, Well, what I'm starting to do now is I have land, I have my house, and I go walk upon it. I go sit out on the earth, and I let the energy of the earth to try to go ahead and reset me. And another thing that I just got back into doing is bowling. You know, that was my thing growing up, was where I found my safe space because I didn't have, someone in my corner, or what I felt like someone was in my corner. So I found my corner with bowling. So that's one thing that I do. And I'm starting to learn to journal, write things. And, actually, I did it this morning, just a nice little small affirmation. It don't have to be a paragraph. It don't have to be a book, just a nice small affirmation. And one thing that my wife is teaching me, and also a great show called Queer Eye. Y'all can laugh if you want. You need to watch it because it's going to open up some things. Self care. I'm starting to understand what self care is, and it isn't that self care of pleasure. I mean, it is a form of pleasure, but not that pleasure. But taking care of yourself, putting on the lotions, putting on the exfoliations, doing your hair, using the right products, and then talking great about yourself.
Absolutely. It's important for us to understand that athletes need coaches, teammates, trainers, and support staff, and regular men need support system too. So who are the people that men should be able to lean on when life gets heavy?
Man, anybody, and you shouldn't be afraid to lean on anyone. A coworker, a boss. If you're into church, your pastor, the deacons. If you're in athletics, your coaching staff, another teammate. With me, another other bowlers, or just family members. We don't talk to the old generation no more. The old generation, they're starting to fall by the wayside because they're getting up in the years, and we don't utilize their experiences. Yes, they're not going to just open up to you. You have to go seek them. And once you go seek them, man, oh man, they will have talks and give you so much guidance and understanding.
It will definitely drop those jewels on you. So now we're going to do some rapid fire questions really quickly. What's one what's one thing men should stop doing?
Stop putting pressure on yourself. Stop putting
Yeah.
the whole world on top of your shoulders. You don't have to carry the load by yourself. If you're in a marriage, use your partner. That's why it's called a help me.
What's one thing men should start doing?
Trust in others, opening up to others. Go to therapy. Don't be ashamed of therapy. I started it. It's been great.
What's one healthy way to handle stress?
Finding something that you're good at. If you're a carpenter, or if you're a woodmaker, get into it. If you're an artist, start drawing. If you're a singer, sing. If you just love music, dance it out. Like me, bowling. Oh man, I'm about to destroy my body because that's all I want to do is go bowling.
And what's one thing wives or partners can do to support men better?
Don't throw the stuff back in their face. Give them that. We talk about pillow talk all the time. Give them that moment, that space, that place where they could be vulnerable and they can open up and let it all out. But when they do, don't use it and throw it back in their face, because it takes so much for us to open up and let it out, and then to have who you trust, who you say you love, throw it back in your face. That is not that. No, that does not feel good. It makes you not want to live anymore.
That's very important to know. What advice would you give a younger version of yourself about mental health?
It's okay to fail. It is okay to fail. That's how you learn. If we didn't fail at life or at anything, we would not learn how to get better at it or grow from it. So learn from your experiences, but it's okay to fail, and don't close yourself up once you fail. Let everybody know that you failed at something and how you're going to find a way to get better at
So, if your mental health were a bowling game right now, what frame are you in and why?
it. Right now, I would say I'm in the third frame, and that's, I'm not at the beginning. I've actually thrown a couple shots, and I'm still trying to figure it out. I don't understand the lane just yet, so I'm not sure if I'm using the right equipment to dominate these lanes or this house.
Wow, that's excellent. And so basically you're saying one bad frame doesn't ruin the whole game.
No, it doesn't because you can always recuperate and come back from a bad shot.
Absolutely. Guys, if you're listening today, remember strength isn't pretending you're okay. Strength is being honest when you're not okay and taking steps to take care of yourself. Check on the men in your lives. Sometimes the strongest people are carrying the heaviest loads. Thanks for joining us for another Friday Frenzy with Coach O Speaks. We'll see you next week.
Deuces, love you guys.